So, hi friends, good evening. Welcome to SQL Master YouTube channel. Today we are going to discuss about few more interview questions and answers here. Because nowadays, in recent interviews, okay, till testing interviews, the interviewers are asking some more little bit different questions. Okay, so for that purpose, I am making these videos, the latest questions and answers. I research on internet and I am just providing for you people. So kindly go through the complete video so you can understand you can have some extra knowledge or complete ETL testing knowledge here. Okay. So for that purpose, I made this video. And if you are not subscribed to SQL Master YouTube channel, kindly subscribe to SQL Master. So that will be more beneficial for you people to get the videos like this. Okay, let us move to the videos. What I made here, some questions and answers in slides format. So this is what the first question, that is, what do you mean by DBMS and what are its different types? A database management system, that is DBMS, is a software application that interacts with the user applications and the database itself to capture and analyze the data. A database is a structured collection of data. A DBMS allows a user to interact with database. The data stored in the database can be modified, retrieved, deleted, and can be of any type like strings, numbers, images, etc. There are two types of DBMS, that is relational database management system, that is the data is stored in relations, that is tables, example MySQL, and second one is non-relational database management system. There is no concept of relations, tuples and attributes, for example MongoDB. So next question is, what is RDBMS, how it is different from DBMS? A relational database management system, that is RDBMS, is a set of applications and features that allow IT professionals and others to develop, edit, administer, and interact with relational databases. Most commercial relational database management systems use structured query language, that is SQL, to access the database, which is stored in the form of tables. The RDBMS is most widely used database system in the businesses all over the world. It offers a stable means of storing and retrieving massive amount of data. Databases in general hold collections of data that may be accessed and used in other applications. The development, administration, and use of database platforms are all supported by database management system. A relational database management system, that is RDBMS, is a type of database management system, DBMS, that stores data in row-based table structures that links related data components. And RDBMS contains functions that ensures the data security, accuracy, integrity, and consistency. This is not same as the file storage utilized by the database management system. So, the number of users who are permitted to utilize the system. A DBMS can only handle one user at a time, whereas an RDBMS can handle numerous users. Hardware and software specifications. In comparison to an RDBMS, a DBMS requires fewer software and hardware. Amount of information. RDBMSs can handle any quantity of data from tiny to enormous, whereas DBMSs are limited to small amounts. The structure of database. Data is stored in a hierarchical format in a DBMS, whereas an RDBMS uses a table with headers that serve as column names and rows that hold associated values. Next point is implementation of ACID principle. The atomicity, consistency, isolation, and durability, that is ACID concept, is not used by DBMSs for data storage. RDBMSs, on the other hand, use ACID model to organize their data and assure consistency. Databases that are distributed. A DBMS will not provide complete support for distributed databases, whereas an RDMS will. So programs that are managed. So a DBMS focuses on keeping databases that are present within the computer network and system hard disks, whereas RDBMS helps manage relationships between incorporated tables of data. Then next point is normalization databases is supported. A RDBMS can be normalized, but DBMS cannot be normalized. Next question is, what is a self join? So in previous video also we discussed this question. So self join is a type of join that can be used to connect two tables. As a result, it is the unary relationship. Each row of a table is attached to itself and all other rows of the same table in a self join. As a result, a self join is mostly used to combine and compare the rows from the same database table. So next question is, what is the select statement? A select command gets 0 or more rows from one or more database tables or views. The most frequent data manipulation, the language DML command is select in most application. Select query is defined as a result set, but not how to calculate it, because SQL is a declarative programming language. So next question is, what are the some common class used with select query in SQL? The following are some frequent SQL clauses used in conjunction with the select query. That is where clause. In SQL, where clause is used to filter records that are required to depending on the certain criteria. Order by clause. The order by clause is SQL is used to sort the data in ascending or in descending pattern order depending on the specified fields. So group by clause in SQL is used to group entries with identical data, or maybe used aggregation methods to obtain summarized database results. Having clause is used to filter records in combination with group by clause. It is different from where, since where clause cannot filter aggregate records. Having clause is used to filter the aggregate functions. So what is cursor? How to use a cursor? After any variable declaration, declare a cursor. A select statement must always be coupled with the cursor definition. To start the result set, move the cursor over it. Before obtaining rows from the result set, the open statement must be executed. To retrieve and go to the next row in the result set, use fetch command. To disable the cursor, use close command. Finally, use the deallocated allocate command to remove the cursor definition and free up these resources connected with it. So dear friends, some of the questions and answers for specifically for SQL. Okay, so it's not related to Oracle also. So go with these questions and answers also, because you are in company in real time working. Might be you are going for Oracle database or SQL. We don't know. Okay, so just refer these videos, questions and answers. So next question is, list the different types of relationships in SQL. There are different types of relations in the database. One-to-one relationship. This is a connection between two tables in which each record in one table corresponds to maximum of the one record in the other. One-to-many and many-to-one. This is the most frequent connection in which record in one table is linked to several records in another. Many-to-many. This is used when defining a relationship that requires several instances on each sides. Self-referencing relationships. When a table has to declare a connection with itself, this is the method to employ. So next one is, what is the usage of the annual function? You may use annual function to replace none values with a default value. The function returns the value of second parameter if the first parameter is null. If the first parameter is anything other than null, it is left alone. This function is used in Oracle, not in SQL and MySQL. Instead of annual function, MySQL have if null and SQL server have is null function. Let's move to the next question in this SQL interview questions. Okay, so the next question is 18. Explain the character manipulation functions. Explain its different types of in SQL. Change, extract, and edit the character string using character manipulation routines. The function will do the action on the input strings and return the result when one or more characters and words are supplied into it. A character manipulation functions in SQL are as follows. Point A, concat, joining two or more values. This function is used to join two or more values together. The second string is always appended to the end of the first string. Substring. This function returns a segment of string from given start point to given end point. length. This function returns the length of the string in the numerical form, including blank spaces in string. This function calculates the precise numeric location of a character or word in a string. LPAD. For right justified values, it returns the padding of the left side character value. So the next one, rpad. For a left justified value, it returns the padding of the right side character value. Trim. This function removes all defined characters from the beginning and or both ends of the string. It also reduces the amount of wasted space. Replace. This function replaces all instances of a word or a section of a string, substring with other string values specified. The next question, what is the difference between rank and dense rank functions? So the rank function in the result set defines the rank of each row within your ordered partition. If both rows have the same rank, the next number in the ranking will be previous ranks plus a number of duplicates. If we have three records at the rank 4, for example, the next level is indicated is 7. The dense rank. The function assigns a distinct rank to each row within a partition based on the provided column value with no gaps. It always indicates a ranking in order of precedence. This function will assign the same rank to the two rows if they have same rank, with the next rank being the next consecutive number. If we have three records at the rank 4, for example, the next rank level is indicated is 5. So what are the tables and fields? A table is a collection of data components organized in a row and columns in a relational database. A table can also be thought of as useful representation of relationships. The most basic form of data storage is the table. An example of employee table is shown below. You can observe this table: ID column, name column, department, and salary. A record or row in a single entry in a table, a record represents a collection of connected data. The employee table, for example, has 4 records. A table is made up of numerous records, rows, each of which can be split down into smaller units called fields or columns. ID, name, department, and salary are the 4 fields in the employee table above. So what are the basic SQL skills? SQL skills aid data analysts in the creation, maintenance, and retrieval of data from relational databases, which divide data into columns and rows. It also enables users to efficiently retrieve, update, manipulate, insert, and alter the data. The most fundamental abilities that SQL experts should possess are database management, structuring a database, creating SQL clauses and statements, SQL system skills like MySQL and PostgreSQL, PHP expertise is useful, analyze SQL data, using WAMP with SQL to create database, OLAP skills. What is schema in SQL Server? A schema is visual representation of the database that is logical. It builds and specifies the relationships among the database's numerous entities. It refers to the several kinds of constraints that may be applied to database. It also describes various data kinds. It may also be used on tables or views. Schema come to in variety of shapes and sizes. Star schema and snowflake schema are two types of the most popular schemas. The entities in star schema are represented in star format, whereas those in snowflake schema are shown in a snowflake shape. That is what the dimensions are exploded at the node of the dimensions. So any database architecture is built on the foundation of schema. So how to create temp table in SQL Server? Temporary tables are created in tempdb and are erased automatically after the last connection is closed. We may use temporary table to store and process interim results. When we need to store temporary data, temporary tables come in handy. The following is the syntax for creating the temporary table. That is what the create table employee, that is id int comma name varchar of 25 size, insert into employee values. One name is, for example, Ashish, and comma 02, that is Atul. So let's move to the next question in the SQL interviews. So question number 36 is, what is the difference between now and current date? Now returns a constant time that indicates the time at which statement began to execute. Within a reward function or trigger, now returns the time at which the function or triggering statement began to execute. The simple difference between now and current date is that now will fetch the current date and time both format, that is YYYYMMDD HHMMSS, while current date will fetch the date of the current day, that is YYYYMM and DD. So next one is how to create stored procedure using SQL Server. A stored procedure is a piece of prepared SQL code that you can save and reuse again and over. So if you have SQL query that you create frequently, save it as a stored procedure and then call it whenever you want. You may also supply parameters to store procedure so that it can act based on the values of parameters given. Stored procedure syntax. Create a procedure name as SQL statement, go. Execute stored procedure, execute procedure name. So what are the different types of sandbox? SQL Sandbox is a secure environment with SQL Server where untrusted programs can be run. There are three different types of SQL sandboxes. Safe access sandbox. In this environment, a user may execute SQL activities like as building stored procedures, triggers, and so on, but they can't access memory or create files. Sandbox for external access. Users can access files without having the ability to alter memory allocation. Unsafe access sandbox. This contains untrustworthy code that allows a user to access memory. Let's move to the next question. So, what do you mean by data integrity? Data integrity defines the accuracy as well as consistency of data stored in database. It also defines integrity constraints to enforce business rules on the data when it is entered into an application or database. So, next question. What is the difference between clustered and non-clustered index in SQL? The differences between clustered and non-clustered index in SQL are: clustered index is used for easy retrieval of data from database. It's faster, whereas reading from non-clustered index is relatively slower. Clustered index alters the way records are stored in database as it sorts out rows by the column which is set to the clustered index, whereas in non-clustered index it does not alter the way it was stored, but it creates a separate object within the table which points back to the original table rows after searching. One table can only have one clustered index, whereas it can have many non-clustered index. What do you understand by query optimization? So the phase that identifies a plan for evaluation query which has the least estimated cost is known as query optimization. The advantages of query optimization are as follows. The output is provided faster, a larger number of queries can be executed in less time, reduces the time and space complexity. What are the entities and relationships? So first we can go for entities. A person, place or thing in the real world about which data can be stored in database. The table store the data represents one type of the entity. For example, a blank database has a customer table to store customer information. The customer table stores this information as a set of attributes, that is columns within the table for each customer. So what is the relationships now? Relations or links between entities that have something to do with each other. For example, the cluster name is related to the customer account number and contact information, which might be in the same table. There can also be relations between separate tables, for example, customers to account. So what is index? An index refers to the performance tuning method of allowing faster retrieval of records from the table. An index creates an entry for each value and hence it will be faster to retrieve data. So these are the few questions what I made prepared for you people, so to face the interview. Okay, so if you really like these videos, just subscribe to my channel. So these are I'm providing more and more videos regarding this SQL and ETL testing and Informatica related videos. So I hope you understood these concepts, questions and answers clearly. I will be with you with some more questions, answers, or some more ETL testing concepts. So thank you, friends. Thank you very much. Bye bye. Have a nice day. Thank you.